Shopping malls in 2025. What exactly do they look like? When's the last time you were in a shopping mall? I gotta tell you, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I spent a lot of time in the shopping malls. In fact, my wife and I just about met in a shopping mall. She worked at a hair salon in the shopping mall, and in fact, when the boys were born, she still worked there. So we spent a lot of time there. But what does a shopping mall look like these days? Do you even still have a mall? Now, I'm not talking about a little strip mall. I'm talking about a big, giant, maybe even 2 or 3 story mall. You know, the ones that used to have FYE, KB Toys. They always had that weird pet shop. Suncoast Videos, GameStop, Zoomies, Hot Topic, Claire's. All of the stores that used to be in shopping malls, or that still are in shopping malls. Well, that very shopping mall that I just mentioned, that my wife worked at, and our kids spent a lot of time as babies at, just so happens to still be up the street. And the other day we were driving by, there's nobody in the parking lot. And Crosby asked me, "Dad, is that mall still open?" And I said, "Yeah, I think it's still open." 2 of the 3 large anchors have pulled out. Macy's is gone and Sears is gone. I believe Sears went out of business and Macy's left the mall, I think in May of this year. So it's just JCPenney's that's left, only 1 anchor. And when you only have 1 anchor, you can kind of float out adrift. And that's when things maybe start to go awry. There's nobody in the parking lot, and Crosby said, "Dad, I would love to go back in there sometime." It's been probably 6 years since we've been in there. We spent a lot of time in that mall. I have a lot of memories. Even before I met my wife, I used to go in that mall. I frequented that place. But what does it look like inside? Just how desolate is it? Now, I'm gonna guess in its heyday, there's probably 100 shops inside of Sunrise Mall. I'm very curious how many of those shops are still open. So, here's what we're gonna do today. The whole family and I, the Misses Crosby and Leland, we're gonna go to Sunrise Mall. We're gonna walk through it. We're gonna shoot some video. We are going to reminisce and have a good time. Remember all the time that we spent as a family in this mall. And after spending some time there, maybe make some assessments on just exactly what's happening. Why that mall is being deserted. So join us on this journey. What does the inside of a dying mall look like? Why is it dying, and could there still be hope for it? Oh, you're driving? This mall is one that's very close to us, and actually not just physically close to us. This one's like near and dear to us, right? This one's like kind of emotionally close to us as well. Yeah. She worked at this mall when we met. So one of the very first places that we met up was at this mall. And you worked there for 6-ish years. Matter of fact, this kid right here, when he was born, Mom was still working there. So I used to take him to this mall all the time. But Crosby's been asking the question for a long time, what does the inside of that mall look like every time we drive by it, right? Okay, so we've pulled up to the outside of the big giant parking lot of what is Sunrise Mall. I mean, they have all these electric car spots, but nobody comes to the mall anymore. This is crazy. Like, most of the mall is blocked off. It's not even, you can't even access it. That was Sears. Yeah, there used to be a Laboo right there. That's where you used to get all your, like, your bread. Remember all the bread that you used to get? Wow.
Not a single person.
There's not a single car here.
Oh.
So here's one of the entrances. This is not the entrance that we used to go in, right? It was down there a little bit further. Look at that. Sunrise Mall. It doesn't seem like that long ago they remodeled this thing. I'm very curious to see what's even left in there. Look at that. How is it even still open? Oh, JCPenney's is still open? Macy's was right there, and Macy's is no more. That was a Macy's, that big, huge building there. Wow, look at that. There's just so many of the windows are boarded up. I'm having some serious flashbacks right now parking in this parking lot right here. This was the entrance that we used to go into. Look at this place. What would you say there is? 15 cars, 20 cars in the parking lot?
It's gotta be employees.
They're all employees. I'm very curious to see what stores are left in there, if any. other than JCPenney's. Okay, before we go in, guys, I want to take some bets here. Let's play some bets. How many stores do you think are still open?
5.
4.
Mom?
7.
7. You guys are, that's less stores than I would have said. Grosby says 5, Leland says 4, Mom says 7. I'm gonna say that there's at least 10 stores left open here. Dang. That's where Mom used to work, right there. Yep. Wow, look at that. Yeah, this is where I used to take you to come meet Mom for lunch. And there used to be this little play thing out here, like a electric riding horse that like you can like ride, put coins in. Wow, this is like bringing back some real memories. Water fountain, no longer working. Babe, Mrs. Fields isn't here anymore. Oh my God, look. So there's a K. Claire's is open for 5 more days. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
There's already 5 stores. 6, including JCPenney's. Okay, wow, look at this. Look down there. Look at all the empty chairs and tables. Spencer's. Spencer's is gone. Yeah, that was a Baskin Robbins. This was the food court. Wow. There's still a Famous Footwear, but look at the food court. There's nothing in here. Let's walk through here real quick. Hot dog on a stick, crazy rolls. Okay, it's dark. It is actively dark in here. Sbarro, Taco Bell. Look at this. Wow. All the marks from when people were working here. It's crazy, guys. I remember we used to come sit here and have lunch. We used to sit at like one of the little tables that were over there, and this place was like bustling. There's nothing here. Like, I almost feel we just walked by the lids, and there's like 4 employees in there, but not a single person. There's not one person shopping. I want to go all the way to the end. Famous Footwear is still here, and they do have massage chairs, and it looks like, hey, do you remember when we brought Leland here for photos?
Yeah.
Right here? I think it was, yeah, it was one of these places. Look at that. That's a great question. How much is rent here? Like, if we went to the mall place there, and we were like, okay, we want to open a game store here, right?
Right.
What do you think one of these would cost? This right here, when I was a kid, used to be a Miller's Outpost. Does anybody remember Miller's Outpost? And when I was a kid, there was a big train track all the way around the roof, and now it's a stage. It's weird. Look at that's. What was this down here? This was Macy's. This was where Macy's was. This store is still going though. Image. Although, no offense to Image, but I feel like if you have a store like that still has tons of stuff in it, but you are getting no business, it's gotta be a front, right? It's gotta be some kind of front, right? Like this place. Look at this. Look at these couches.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid to be sitting on them.
Look at them. Yeah, the air's not on. This was Zoomies, huh? Oh yeah, right, obviously. I said, this was Zoomies, and she's like, yeah, look at the fucking floor, dummy. What's going on in there, guys?
What if someone just comes running?
No, someone pops out of the door back there.
No, someone just comes running out of the door.
I don't even remember what this was. Oh, this was Hallmark. Yeah, look at it. There's the keepsake ornament sign. Okay, so in this hallway alone, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more shops. And the missus pointed out that they don't keep the AC on anymore. But I did notice there was still a few people, like, do you remember back in the day when people used to mall walk in the mornings? They would come to the mall and just like do laps. Why did that all of a sudden sound appealing to me? Why did the idea of like doing mall walks all of a sudden sound appealing to me in the mornings? Wow, look at this. This is a little bit old, huh? And that food court's just crazy, huh? Whoa, look at this. What's kind of crazy is like, yeah, they just leave it. Wow, look at that. They got their, what year was that? 2020? Whoa. Crosby says it still smells like Baskin-Robbins. I would imagine so. I mean, they cooked waffle cones in there for years. Mom wants to go into JCPenney's though and see if Tofer.A is open. This looks normal. Yeah, we just overheard somebody in here, one of the employees in here, saying that Macy's actually shut down in May. So, I don't know, June, July, August, so it's probably JCPenney Beauty. No longer a Sephora. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of making me, it's giving me like Christmas time vibes. You think I would like this? Do you know who that is?
Johnny Depp.
That's not Johnny Depp, that's David Beckham. He's the, I think, soccer guy. I don't know, I'm not a sports guy. This is as close to sports as I get. If you know what this is, hit the comments and let me know. I mean, I would venture to say that the majority of the cars that are in the parking lot are here. The people are here, right? And I would imagine that this place is probably not long for the world. I mean, look at the amount of clearance signs there are. Like everything's on clearance in here. It means it's on sale, it means they're getting rid of it. They're blowing it out. Sears closed like 2 or 3 years ago.
No.
Yeah, Sears has been closed for a while.
Not 2 to 3 years. It's been a very long time.
Oh, it's been longer than that?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't disagree, yeah.
Sears closed when I was still working.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Leland, we used to take you up this escalator in your stroller. It was a real pain in the ass.
Wow.
We're on the second floor now of Penny's, JCPenney's, right? Yeah. And it's pretty sad. Yeah. Hey. Remember that?
Wait, the dog?
Yeah, the dog doo-doo toy. Doggy doo. Where you pump this thing and like it makes the dog like poop these little nuggets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's your toy section. Let's take this to Crosby and see if he remembers. Hey Crosby, do you remember this toy? Do you remember that? They have Mom's spirit animal. Keep going. Take a right. And another sharp right. There it is.
Wait, can you turn it up?
It's Grumpy Bear from the Care Bears. Tell me that's not Grumpy Bear.
This reminds me of the holidays.
It does remind me of the holidays in here. This is really like, it's got some heavy nostalgia. Oh my God, look at it. They got the Mario backpack.
That's the thing that I have.
Yep. Wow, what's something like that? 35 bucks. Probably on clearance, I would imagine. It says new arrival, but I don't think anything new has come into this place. So Penny's is definitely the liveliest at this mall. This is definitely taking me back.
You think they're hiring?
That's a really good question. Should I go ask somebody? Like, there's no way that a place like this is hiring, right? Uh-oh. Mom found some kind of llama.
Forever 21.
Forever 21?
I know that Forever 21 closed, but like...
Huh. I guess so. Mom's checking out the candles over here.
Do you think they still have Bath and Body Works here?
We can look. Not good? It's not terrible. All right, so you might be asking yourself when you see this video or when you're watching this video, like, what does this mean? Does this mean that like retail stores are gone? What is this a sign of? It's sort of the sign of a number of things, like times changing and malls needing to change, malls needing to adapt, and when malls don't adapt, like that's when this sort of thing happens, because we do have malls here in Sacramento that are doing great. You know, we got the Galleria, which is a fantastic mall, and it's always super busy. But also, shopping habits change. People don't really congregate in one place anymore. And I know a lot of you are probably saying like, oh, this is the result of, you know, online shopping. This is a result of Amazon. This is a result of Target.com, Walmart.com, whatever. And while that does have a little bit of a contributing factor to it, it's not all of it, because there are still plenty of big malls that are really booming. I would imagine what happens is the mall raises the rent on a lot of these stores, right? And then the stores can't survive when the rent gets raised, you know, unless it's some kind of front. And so you have some of your bigger anchor stores that close. Once those anchor stores close, a lot of these smaller stores don't have the same foot traffic that they used to, because the anchor stores are what bring a lot of people in. The Sears of the malls, the Macy's of the malls, the JCPenney's of the malls, especially during the holidays, that's what brings people in. And if one of the three big anchors close, then what happens? You get less foot traffic, and the foot traffic means this: less people coming in, stores closing. And then combine that with rent of these places going up, it's just not a viable thing anymore. Not to mention, you know, the pandemic really helped accelerate that quite a bit, because, you know, we had social distancing, and going inside of a mall wasn't super, what's the phrase, in vogue. So outdoor malls really started to pop off then, and outdoor malls are still doing fairly well. What is this? He only has one back foot?
Why does he have feet at all? He's a shark.
Well, if you're gonna have feet, you might as well have four, right?
Not if you're a shark. You only need 3.
Crosby has found some stuff, all right? Oh, I see, the 3-legged shark is in this, brain rot. Okay, uh-oh. Mom found something. The missus and the boys are wandering the toy store, finding things like these cool Marios, dude. Capybaras. Oh my God, Crosby. Let me see. You got 151s here?
Yeah.
Team Rocket? Dang. This is a special Labubu? Oh, let's take a look.
Like $400.
Look at this guy. Holy moly. That's the secret Labubu? Is this
How
the
much is
closest you've ever been?
400.
4! Get that out of your hand. What do you think?
Is this the closest you've ever been to a secret Labubu?
Get that out of your
Is that, what is that, Gucci?
Yeah.
Look at that little guy. See, there's like, there are things to be found in the Sunrise Mall still. Oh, look at that guy. You got the Mew EX. Huh? Leland's drooling. These kids have been collecting Pokemon for a very long time. Man, there's some hidden gems. Leland wants a water gun. Are these like super soakers? When I was a kid, we used to have super soakers. You used to pump them, and man, the super soaker, when it hits you, that sucker would leave a welt. Oh, it's a gel blaster. He can't get that?
No.
Dude.
Why not? Why don't we let him prove that he's responsible?
Yeah.
Right? We need to let the kids prove that they're responsible. Yeah. What if I co-sign for him? Well, if he's irresponsible, I'll take it away.
And what? Good deal.
Yay. See, now she wants one too. She's looking at it, she's like, man, that's pretty cool. Yeah, now don't get me in trouble though. I'm vouching for you. I'm co-signing this for you.
That's what's up, is
Yeah.
YouTube video?
YouTube video.
What's up, man?
We got, hey, look at this.
We in Sacramento.
Sacramento? Well, sort of. I guess we're in Citrus Heights, right? Something like that. The moral of this story is go support your local businesses so places like the mall can continue to stay open, right? Thank you, sir. Have a good one. Okay, so there was 5 in the entryway, there was 4 down there, so that makes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stores so far that are open. Do you know what this used to be right here? This used to be Hot Topic. You can still see the little outline. Torrid is still here. Wasn't Torrid the like offshoot of?
I'm such an idiot.
What? What?
I'm walking and I'm like, hey, never
Is it you?
It's a mirror.
Oh, okay, yep. She saw herself in the mirror. She saw herself in the mirror in this kiosk here and was thinking to herself in her brain, boy, that woman really looks like me. That is, wow, look at that. That is one heck of a fake fireplace, huh? You want that for by the bed? Give it a little bit of time, I bet it will be discounted. Wow, look, they have the far end of the mall closed off. You can't even go down there anymore. I wanted to go down and look at the movie theater. Wait, what was that? And what was that down there? There was 2 Macy's here? Okay. Wow, look at this. Look at, there's still a Gatorade bottle sitting there from, I don't know what it was. This might be like back in the day, there was a store called like, I think Men's Fashion here in Sunrise Mall. And it's where they used to sell like cross colors, Jankos. This, or maybe it was that place. That was a shoe store, right? Journeys? Okay, so when I was a kid, Sunrise Mall right here, this is considered the center of the mall. Sunrise Mall this was a big pit, okay? And inside this pit was a train set. And the train would have like tunnels and all kinds of like really cool stuff going through it. Let's walk down here. This is where GameStop used to be.
There used to be a game.
Yeah, there used to be a GameStop here. Jacob worked at this GameStop. Jacob, like Sam and Jacob. GameStop closed a long time ago though. I'm pretty sure that was the GameStop, yeah. It's nothing now. I mean, it was a GameStop a long time ago. GameStop left the mall a very long time ago. Again, the rumor was, back when I worked at GameStop years ago, that a lot of the malls, including this mall here, were raising rent every year and just making it impossible for the businesses to survive. So, you know, in some cases, some would tell you, in some stories, some would tell you that that mall owners purposely raise the prices of rent in these stores to get the people out, to get the stores to move out so they can then, you know, close the property down and sell it to somebody else. You can't sell it if you continue to have like half capacity with stores. And you got these little holdouts like some of these stores here, because it's not like whoever owns this mall is actively trying to make it better or fix it up at all. It's quite literally a dilapidating mall. Creepy. That's not creepy at all. Look, there's big giant chess pieces on the ground. What if something just jumped out at you right now? Just like, it's because the ceiling's falling in. Opening soon, flawless fix. June 25th, 2024. So this opened a year ago. Fast fix jewelry and watch repair. Didn't even last a year. Somebody's shirt. Do you know what this was? If you had to guess, what would you say it is?
Home Depot.
No, Home Depot? No, Home Depot's a big store. No, that was a Journeys, the shoe place. Look at all this. This is what's left of Macy's. It's crazy. We spent so much time in here when you guys were just little babies, basically. I think this was a C's candy. Yeah, that was definitely a C's candy. Well, is it everything that you thought of? Is it everything that you thought it would be in here?
It'd be more empty.
You thought it would be more empty? Wow. I don't know how it would get more empty than this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I sort of want to call Brenda Miller and ask just how much this would cost. Should I call him right now? All right, we're gonna call Brenda Miller real quick. We're gonna call Brenda Miller on speakerphone, see if she answers, and see just how much it would cost to rent where icing used to be.
Your call has been forwarded to the voicemail for Brenda Miller. No one is available to take your call.
It went
At the tone,
directly to a
please record your
voicemail.
message.
Hi, Brenda. I am interested in just knowing what the cost of renting the old icing. I was just curious if you could give me a call back. I would appreciate it. Yeah, it went straight to voicemail. I would imagine she's not getting too many phone calls about the old icing store. So right there where Crosby and I call the lady on the sign there about renting one of the retail spaces in the mall, and I left her a voicemail. Well, guess who called back? So we're just gonna listen to her voicemail and see exactly what she has to say about it. Okay, here we go.
Hello, this is Brenda. I'm returning your call about the Sunrise Mall area. I'm a leasing sales agent for that area, so I don't know exactly what you're interested in. The Sunrise Mall is dead, honestly, and they're not really leasing the inside anymore. I know what they're trying to do is sell the whole thing, but that's going to be a challenge. But I do have a lot of stuff in Fair Oaks listings for lease. So I'm not sure what you need, but my cell phone's the best way to reach me, and that's 916.
Okay, I cut the rest of her voicemail short because she leaves her phone number. But very interesting, she comes out and says in the voicemail, Sunrise Mall is no longer leasing, Sunrise Mall is dead. That's a bummer. But it does sound like they're looking to sell? I don't know. But there you go. That's what happens when you try and lease a store in the Sunrise Mall. Looks like they're not leasing anymore. So it's been about 5 days since I've shot that video. And since then, I've gone back and done a bunch of research and watched a bunch of news stories, local news stories, just within the last month or so. And from what I'm reading is it sounds like some investment company or some person had bought in the mall some years back, 5 years back, 6 years back, or whatever, and is actively sitting on it trying to let it die so they can then sell it and develop homes or apartment complexes there. And it's not jiving with the city because the city wants to refurbish it and revitalize it as a mall. The last news article that I saw was saying that the city is actively looking to maybe purchase the mall back. So there's a little update for you. Now, back to the video. See, look at this. They don't even let you go any further here anymore. I wonder why. That's the old movie theater right there. They were dollar movies. So you could go down there and watch movies for $1. All the way down there at the end is, it used to be a store. When I was like in high school, there used to be a store that sold, it was before cell phones, but they sold pagers. You know what a pager is? A beeper? It was a little device that looked like a cell phone, except you couldn't call on it. People just called it from their home phone, and then they would leave their phone number, and then it would beep you. And then you would check your beeper and see whose number it was, and then you would call them back. Because they would just leave their number in there. And then there was all kinds of interesting, there was code, so you can type in things, and then if you knew what the code was. Well, long story short, when I was in high school, there was a store down there that sold beepers. And the guy down there, like if you talk to the right guy, he would sell you a forever pager or forever beeper for like, I think it was like $80, $40, $80, something like that. And it would stay activated forever, and you didn't have to do like a monthly fee. Do you remember black box cable? Anybody else have black box where like it was like stealing cable basically? So this guy would sell you the service. And I actually still have that beeper at home. I'm sure it's not activated anymore, but I brought a couple of friends here that also got forever pagers. I'm very curious. Okay, quick cutaway, just in case you thought maybe I was fibbing about the whole pager thing. Here we go. Check this out. This was the forever pager that I was just talking about in the video. And just to kind of put this to bed, that it's not actually a forever pager, we're gonna pop a battery in it and turn it on real quick, if it even powers up. Okay, let's see. We got a AA, which I should have plenty of, because the missus goes through them like crazy on her controller. Okay, let's see if this thing powers on. Jesus fucking Christ. Page Max nationwide, Page Max. Yep, holy shit. This thing actually powers on. Anybody remember, did anybody else have these? Anybody else have a pager? Let's see, I can't read through that full battery, turn pager off, set time and alarm, choose alert. I wouldn't even know. Choose alert. Let's listen to the different alerts. Oh, Jesus, it's giving me like PTSD. Silent. Yeah, that's your typical like pager. I don't even know how to tell if this thing would still work. It says page max nationwide. I don't know if you can read that, but that's my forever pager. And I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it no longer works. It's probably not a forever pager anymore. So dude over at the Sunrise Mall who sold us all forever pagers, they weren't actually forever. Also, I gotta take the battery out of this so it doesn't corrode. Now back to the video. I was hoping to be able to walk all the way down to Sears and to the movie theater. It's kind of, I would love to go into that movie theater and just walk into the theater and see what it looked like in there. Look at what an appropriate poster for this mall. What are you guys doing? Wow, it's really jiggling you around though, I'll tell you that much. If there's anybody that can find a massage chair in a mall, it's this woman. Good Lord. While she's doing that, Crosby and I are gonna wander. We'll go down and back, okay? There is no more food places, you are correct. Restrooms, you wanna see what the restrooms are like? The women's restroom is out of order. Wow, this isn't creepy at all. You know, for a kid who likes to adventure, he sure is a weenie. Come on, hurry up before the boogeyman gets you. Yes, this is where the bathrooms are. You know what these are? These are the back doors to the stores. Please call security. What do you think is in there? There's a cloth covering the window. Okay, here's the men's restroom. We won't shoot video in the men's restroom. I don't know, seemed like a normal restroom to me. There wasn't anybody in there, but should we ring this bell?
No.
There's doorbells at all of these, because this is how like employees used to get in. They would come this way. Like, what exactly do you think it is like to be like the employee at T-Mobile right now? Where like, I don't know if that dude's seen a single customer all day. Do you think every morning he wakes up and he's like, well, today's the last day. I bet this is the last day I go to work.
That's definitely a shoe store.
Think it was a shoe store? I mean, I will say that while they're not super well taken care of, the plants aren't dead. You could tell that they've been pretty waterless this summer because obviously they're not running AC in here. What? Candy store? Maybe. It looks like they were having meetings at some point in there. So interesting. Like, look at Breakout. Did Breakout, they still have stuff in there. Do they just decide like, no, let's not go to work today. It ain't worth it. Yeah, 80% off everything. This was the Go Toys game, or the Go Toys shop. I don't know if you guys remember this, but we used to come here all the time. This was a really cool toy store. Yeah, this was the toy store that we used to come to all the time. Oh, look at it. Looks like it used to be an American Eagle though before that. They must have had that covered up when they were the toy store. We used to come here and you guys would, like, you loved the toys in that store. That was a good toy store, actually. You know, back when I was a kid, the toy store in the mall was called KB Toys. Yeah, it used to be called KB Toys. I loved KB Toys. This used to be Hot Topic, but they've done a really good job at completely sealing everything up. You know, you always wonder, like, I guess a place like Hot Topic probably went out of business pretty early on before, like, all of the stores in the mall started closing, and they like close all the windows up because they don't want it to look like everything else is all closed down, right? Here we go. Look at that. I miss this place. We just stopped and talked to a couple of the guys that work here, and just had a moment. If you get the time, you gotta stop by malls like this. Well, buddy, was it anything like you remembered?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was?
Yeah.
Do you actually remember the mall? Do you remember coming in here? You do?
Yeah, I do.
Here it is. Sunrise Mall. I gotta say, it seems like it really wasn't that long ago that we spent all of our time here. When Mel and I met, she was working here. When the boys were born, she was working here. We were living right behind the mall in the apartments. And we spent so much of our time here. And it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It definitely harkens some really, really strong memories. I was just talking to a couple of guys that work here that have said a number of times that the city council or whoever is in charge of this, they've had IKEA interested in the Macy's building, which would be like, that would bring big business back. And they've also said that there was interest in bringing an In-N-Out burger into the parking lot. That would bring huge business too. All they need is a couple of really big anchors and the business would come back to the mall. Because man, I'm gonna tell you, with how things are now, with how the younger generations are really starting to kind of call back that style of the late 90s, early 2000s, this was the culture. This was the culture. Malls. And you go to a place like Galleria and it's still popping, but look at this. Macy's. Well, my ride's here. I guess it's time for me to say goodbye. I don't know that I'll get to step foot in this mall again. Well, there you go. There's your mall experience. The missus was real intrigued by it. It does make me sad, but there's something comforting about it. I don't know, like honestly, I might come back here and just walk around. That feeling, that nostalgic feeling of when the boys were young, it does make me sad. But the guys that we were talking about make a very good point. If you look at the surrounding areas, they're still booming. Birdcage now across the way is still booming. It's doing really well. Ryan just opened the second Fire and Ice store, kitty corner to this mall. If you stood at the corner of this street, you could throw a baseball over to Fire and Ice. It's not far. There's a huge Target across the street. It's just, there's a Barnes & Noble, there's a Lowe's, there's a Michael's. There's lots of stuff still around here. It's just that the mall itself is not being taken care of. So that's what a mall in 2025 is like? I mean, yes and no, not really, because the interesting part is we actually have another mall very close to us that we go to all the time that is just booming. Alexa, turn on the arcade. And the idea is pretty soon, I'm gonna take the boys there and we're gonna shoot a very similar vlog there, where we walk around and we look at everything. And we just sort of go through and take a look at what the differences are. Why does one mall that is merely 10 miles up the road do so well, and another mall in the next town over that is just as big and at one point was just as nice start to fail? There are so many different variables that come into play in a situation like this. And I hope, if anything, a video like this brings a little bit of awareness to just how fun the culture of going to a shopping mall is or was. Obviously, as you know, I am a big fan of physical goods. I like walking into retail stores. I love going into malls, especially indoor malls that have, dozens, if not tens of dozens or hundreds of stores in them. Truth be told, back into my teens and 20s, every town that I went to, I would always find the mall. My dad used to make fun of me, but he would take us on a vacation to Hawaii or whatever when we were kids, and I would find all the malls. I just love them. There's something I love about them, and I would love to see them stick around. So, what does the future hold for the shopping mall? What will the landscape of a shopping mall look like in 10 or 20 years? Will they go extinct? Or will we get them back? Maybe we even see a future where shopping malls have Fire and Ice in them instead of GameStop. That would be awesome too. And as you can see from the footage we shot, walking around the mall, there really wasn't a lot of patrons. In fact, we ended up going into that toy store that you saw in there, and that kid was super awesome. He was excited to have people in the store, which I thought was really cool. And at one point, Crosby and I were walking through just shooting some B-roll, and I had a gentleman come up to me. He comes up to me and he asks if I was shooting video, which obviously I was. And I said, yeah, and he said, you know, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but we would appreciate it if you didn't. And he goes on to tell me that there's a lot of people coming into the mall shooting these derogatory videos about just how rotten the mall looks. And I sort of started to feel bad. That wasn't my intention in making this video. It was supposed to be more of a nostalgic video that you know, really kind of touches people and gets them thinking about this sort of stuff again. And so it really, after I talked to him, I sat there and talked to him for probably 20 minutes about the fact that my wife used to work there and that the kids sort of grew up there, they were babies there, and we lived right behind the mall in the apartment. And it really changed my perspective on you know, shifting the way I was thinking about making this video. He works there. He runs one of the jewelry stores, and I ended up talking to one of the barbers who also works at one of the barber shops there. Both incredibly cool people that love working at the mall. And they don't want to see it go away either. And after talking to them, you know, it really put into perspective that there are still a lot of people out there that love that environment, especially if you grew up at that mall. Because this Sunrise Mall, it's actually where my mom grew up. They built that mall when my mom was going to high school in the area, and she spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time there as a kid, and then my kids spent a lot of time there. So it really does mean a lot. And so it got me thinking after talking to these guys and talking to people who sit on the board of, you know, city council and stuff, what exactly is happening? And I think what it comes down to, it's not that, you know, I think at some point in the video, I maybe said that the landowners maybe just want to sell the land and have them do something else with it. And so they're just sort of waiting for the rest of the stores to leave. But I don't know, after talking to people there, I'm not sure that that's the case. I think that maybe it just comes down to a difference in ideas, really. You know, maybe the city council has one very specific idea. At one point I heard they wanted to do an outdoor mall, you know, tear that down and then rebuild an outdoor mall. Those are really popular. I had also heard from people that IKEA was looking to purchase one of the anchor stores, and that In-N-Out Burger wanted to move into the parking lot. Stuff like that would just be, I think that would really bring that place back. I hold out hope that something like that does happen. I would love to see that happen. Now, speaking of retail stores and big box stores, the boys and I a few weeks ago actually set out on a journey to check out the current state of physical media in 2025. We went to every big box store we can think of. We went to Target and Walmart and Best Buy and multiple GameStops. And we stopped at the very end at Fire and Ice to take a look at what the state of physical media is these days. And it sort of varies, but it's sort of sad. And if you want to check out that video, I highly recommend it. It's a vlog like this, and it's right here. If you want to see more vlogs like this in the future, or you want to see us visit that awesome mall I was talking about, subscribe to the channel right here. Click that little bell icon to be notified. And until next time, my friends, enjoy the journey.